My opponent was one of the strongest players in Latvia and had already successfully competed in the USSR Championship semi-final. Mark Pasman likes to play to a clearly defined positional plan, and so it was with particular pleasure that I strove in this game for tactical complications, reckoning that only in this way could I hope for success. Mikhail Tal. Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and in today's video we are going to analyze Mikhail Tal's game played against Mark Pasman. This game is from 1953 Latvian Championship, and when it comes to Pasman, he was Latvian champion 2 years earlier in 1951. In one of my previous videos, while analyzing Ravinsky-Ilevitsky game, I mentioned about this game, and now we are good to go with it. Tal opened up with e4, to which Pasman answered with c5. Sicilian defense is on the board. Knight d4, knight f6, knight c3 and a6. Najdorf variation, against which white is applying Amsterdam variation. Tal writes, this continuation was one of the most popular at that time. Now, for no particular reason, it is played rather rarely, although it brings white a high enough percentage of wins. I liked this move for the main reason that in the 1952 USSR Championship semi-final in Riga, Mark Pasman played in this tournament. A spectacular game was played. I am unable to resist the temptation to give it in full. So we have already covered that Ravinsky-Ilevitsky game. The link I will pin in the comment section in case you missed it. But meanwhile, let's proceed with our game. e5 was Pasman's answer. Knight f3, knight bd7. Bishop d3, bishop e7, after which both players castled kingside. Despite the fact that we have castling kingside by both sides, this position usually leads to a very sharp attack. Queen c7, f takes e5, d takes e5, knight h4, white knight wants to jump on f5, at the same time white is opening up the rook's path, and this is a position which, with different move order, we saw in Ravinsky-Ilevitsky game. Here's black played knight c5. If you remember, in Ravinsky-Ilevitsky game, black chose bishop d8 continuation, but both are good moves. According to Stockfish, in here, knight c5 for g6 are good, and then is suggesting bishop d8. Knight c5 was made in the game, bishop g5, queen d8, knight f5, an exchange on f5 followed, knight fd7, a good choice for black, of course. Black is simplifying the position, and that's natural because black is on the defensive side. Queen g4, g6, rook a f1, relying on the pin white, he's doubling up the rooks, f6, there it goes h4, king h8, unpinning the pawn, already the rook is hanging, and rook f3. This is a mistake, and better was playing rook f2 in order to keep the diagonal free. If f5, then queen e2. But in our game we have rook f3 continuation, and after f5 white is now going to suffer heavy losses. Although when making h4 move, Tal had already seen all this and he's okay with it. He's going for a piece sacrifice. Yeah, if you move away your queen, for example, if you play queen g5, then f takes e4 is coming, and anyways, you are going to suffer heavy losses. That's why we have e takes f5, sacrificing the knight on d5, and this e-pawn is stepping forward. Yeah, that was the e-pawn which in the beginning of the game was standing on e2. Rook takes f3, an intermediate check followed, king g8, and another blow by Tal. Bishop takes h7. Tal is playing very aggressively. King takes h7, rook takes f3. As Tal writes, this is the position that he had in mind when he made his 21st move. Tal's 21st move was h4. Yeah. Okay, I will leave the Stockfish run in order you can see how the evaluation changes. In here, as I've already mentioned, better was moving back the rook all the way to f2, but we have rook f3 and f5. It takes f5, and yeah, after f5 once white is making this rook f3 move, we have a huge change in evaluation, and that's something which gives black advantage. But rook bishop takes h7, but Mark Pasman failed to find the best defensive resource. Knight e4, h5, white pawn is hurrying to support the pawn on g7, knight df6. Meanwhile, with his knights, black is trying to consolidate the position. h6, rook a7. Well, rook h7 is good, but at this point better is, for example, playing rook d8, because after rook a7 you have to be very precise. Rook d3 can't be played because of this check, and if king h2, then black can play queen d7 and then queen e8. If here, then takes, and then queen e6, black has an extra knight, and this should be winning. But Pasman played rook a7, king h2. In future, white is preventing checks from the first rank. Also, white wants to play rook h3 and is preventing a fork. King h2, rook e7, and yeah, this is already a mistake and is allowing white to win. Take a look at the evaluation, how it changes after rook e7. Instead of playing rook e7, you should play queen d2. You are now threatening queen takes h6. For example, if here, then check, and then knight g4 check, black is winning, and after queen d2, if h7 check, then knight takes h7, and yeah, again black is winning. Black is managing to set up a very solid defense. In our game we have rook e7, and now let's see how Tal converted this complex position into a victory. There comes rook h3, h7 is coming, knight h7 and rook d3, exploiting the back rank weakness. Queen a8, well, if queen takes d3 then just here, and if knight f6 then g4, g5 is coming. Yep, this is going to be winning. And then g6, right, your back rank is weak as well. The engine shows forced mate in 8, this is a destruction. In our game, after rook d3 we have queen a8, and now you can give a try to find Tal's next move. The move just asks itself to be played, and here we go, queen takes e4, relying on the back rank weakness. Black accepted the queen sacrifice, and we have rook d8 check, king f7, and the new queen is born. King f6 check, and now we have a king hunt, guys. King hunt is on the board. King f4, g3 check, king e3, rook d3 check, queen d3, and black resigned, yeah, because it's over. This is one of the possible ways of how white can win. And then queen d6, yeah, there is no coordination among black knight and rook. These pawns together with the queen are a guarantee of an easy victory, as well as the fact that black king is exposed is of course not in black's favor. So this is it, dear chess lovers, hope that you enjoyed this game. Of course, Tal's combination was inaccurate, but it required an utmost precision, something which black failed to find. Interestingly, in Tal's book, we can't find a defense from black's side, and Tal was sure that he was winning. Tal was sure that his combination was accurate. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to win with the white pieces. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in my next video. Take care.